Hi, I'm Marty Levinson, and you're watching Northtown News.
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson, and welcome to the Northtown News Magazine.
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine.
For the identity of the real Marty Levinson, please stay tuned for the Northtown News Magazine.
Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Back to that lemon light city, sweet home Chicago.
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson, the real Marty Levinson. All these people have been doing me for 7 years, maybe 8 years, but I really am the Marty Levinson that you all want to see. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine show with the greatest cameraman around, Sonny Hirsch, and your host of 22 years on television, Avi Myers.
Thank you, Marty. Avi Myers, Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine, a presentation of Sonny Hirsch and myself. Dial us up on the web at www.ntnm.org. All our shows from the last 10 years are on the web. Community policing is something we're real big on. And in the 24th District, anyway, community policing is actually doing some new things that are very interesting. First of all, each and every single district now has 3 new community policing officers. But in the 10 sector, the police are actually organizing a neighborhood watch. The 10 sector being West Rogers Park. And that's not the neighbors doing it, that's the police doing it. So, your participation, whether you participate in this and other things, or no matter where you are in the city, my next guest can tell you that so often the people in a district, the people who live on your block, can be the eyes and the ears to the police and the best way to get rid of crime on the streets. It is a pleasure to introduce you to the new commander of the 19th District, the very first district I ever worked on when I became a reporter, and that's Commander Marc Buslik. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks, Avi.
And how do you like 19? Your neighborhood's a little better than last time.
It's very good. It's very good. 19's a great place, very involved community. It's just very big, and there's a lot going on. So it's just getting used to not just the typical crime and disorder issues, but a lot more special events. We have the goofy baseball team down the street.
Oh, they're in your district.
Yes, they
That's
are.
a big job.
Yes, and lots of other things. So there's a lot going on, but it's a great place. Like I said, very involved community, very involved businesses. So I think it's working well.
I used to actually work, it's a long time ago, but yeah, the businesses were much more involved in that neighborhood than any neighborhood I've ever seen.
Yeah.
What are the approximate boundaries?
We go from Fullerton on the south to Lawrence on the north, the lake on the east, and then the river on the west. So it's pretty large.
That is real large. Yeah. There's no question about it. Yeah. And actually, a lot of it's very nice.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful district. Even if you look at the architecture in Uptown, it's beautiful. There are areas that are higher crime, but it's a great place to work.
I didn't think about Uptown. I remember the Reverend Preston Bradley, who was the Reverend of the People's Church. Right. Who I was on the Mayfair Junior College, which no longer exists. It's Truman now,
right?
Which is in your district,
right?
And students committee for something or another. I was editor of the paper, and he addressed us, and he talked about how when he first started the People's Church, it was known as the fashionable Gold Coast Uptown District. And some of the architecture there is magnificent.
Yes.
Even Al Capone chose to build there.
It is nice.
So, it's some of that stuff is being refurbished now. And
yeah, there's a lot going on there. whether you attribute it to gentrification or just community reinvestment. There's a lot going on.
Well, as times change and as value changes, some properties, get too old to really fix, and you build new stuff. Right. New factors come into play. You've got the lake right there. You've got great public transportation. And you've got some really beautiful. Some of that stuff is gorgeous. It really is. So, how many? What kind of community policing is available right now in the 19th?
My community policing office is very involved with a variety of very well organized community groups and neighborhood associations. We're one of the few districts with a staff steering committee, not just a district advisory committee. So we, and many of our beat meetings are in conjunction with the local neighborhood group or community group.
Nice.
Which is very good because we're able to cover the kinds of things I want covered in a beat meeting, but in a broader context, what's going on in the area, what's going on in the neighborhood. So that's working very well. I'm trying desperately to get people to stop saying caps. Some
That's
cases,
right.
it's
I
a lot
got to stop
easier
doing
than
that too.
others.
You're right.
Yes.
Because the caps doesn't give us any money anymore.
Well, the idea of caps just doesn't apply any longer. We're not doing things in an alternative fashion. These things are the way we do business. And the way we do business is community policing. So yes, 20 years ago, 25 years ago now, we got people on board with the idea by this catchy acronym, but it just doesn't apply any longer. It's not alternative. It kind of devolved into the perception that community policing was a program, when in fact it's not. It's a philosophy of how you do business, and it's how we do business. So yes, we're getting away from applying that moniker caps to what we do, to just describing it as community policing, which is really the essence of what we're doing, and the name is completely appropriate. It's community and the police. So.
Yeah, because it seems like every new superintendent that comes in has his own twist on things, and Eddie Johnson right now, and he's actually told us he's willing to come on the show, and I
great.
Wish him good health, with his.
He's doing well. He's waiting for a kidney, but he's doing well, and certainly with his schedule, he's a tough guy. So.
Yeah, even though Phil Klein might not be popular in certain areas, and he's extremely popular in other areas, particularly for his work for widows and orphans. And, the way things were, I've been a beat facilitator, and Sonny Hirsch, who's behind the camera, has been the chairman of the district, is the chairman of the District Advisory Committee of the 24th District. And by the way, I used to know some of the members of your steering committee very well. And some of them, I think, are judges now.
Diane Marzalak is the chief judge at traffic court. She's the head of our steering committee.
She's one of my favorite people.
Yeah, she's very, very sincere. She's very concerned about our relationship with the community, and I'm very fortunate that she was there. So,
no, she's good people all the way. But you know what? It was a question of, we've had so many changes where you don't have the same beat officer. We were part of a trial that ends very shortly, where we don't have the same beat officer every day in every beat. Yeah. And that makes it almost impossible for the community to develop a relationship with the officer. If you've got the same officer in the same shift that was part of the idea originally, you can get to know them. And I'm the beat facilitator, and when I look at who's got 2412 driving around the area, and I don't recognize them half the time.
Right.
Not a good thing.
No, I agree, and the
And
superintendent.
this is
on
not every
down-
district either. This is just
No,
a chosen
we
few.
certainly understand the limitations of assignments, and for a variety of reasons, it tends to be more dynamic than we would like. But I think you're right. I think that's very important that the relationship between that beat officer and the community be solid, be stable, and be productive as a result of that stability. So,
You know, it used to actually warm my heart when I'd see the people, you know, see police on a side street or on Devon and, you know, hi, officer so-and-so, they knew exactly who they were and all the rest of it. And, you know, it broke down barriers. The people and the police stopped being afraid of each other.
right.
And, you know, if you've got that, and that's what's wrong in certain neighborhoods.
Well, that's right. And, you know, we can go through the whole history of policing and the technology, you know, going back to before O.W. Wilson. You know, the point is we've gotten to a place where those relationships are not as developed as they should be. And we need to work on it. In fact, just today, I signed an order requiring that all beat officers in the district do foot patrol every day.
Good.
Since I've gotten to the district in November, I've established 3 permanent foot posts, foot patrols, because it's that kind of relationship building that lends itself to crime prevention. I want my officers talking to people. The good guys love to talk to the police. The bad guys hate to talk to the police, and they're going to move on, which is what we're trying to do. And the officers like it. What they really want, what they want is the time to be able to do that. They want the ability to get out of their car and say, listen, I'm not, for the next 20 minutes, I don't have to worry about radio calls. I'm going to talk to everybody on this block. I'm going to go into these 3 businesses. I'm going to go down the side street and see who's hanging out on the porch. They want that. They know the benefit to it. And what we're trying to do now is give them that tool.
I think that's terrific. We don't have a lot of time left, but of course, the last few times you were on, you were the you were the Chicago Police liaison to the Department of Justice.
Right.
And well, now you're back into something saner.
We'll see.
So not to being a commander in that. I got a joke, but it's so politically incorrect. I can't even tell that one. So, how did you find it? I mean, what was your overall?
It was good. And certainly if you've had a chance to look at the DOJ findings, there's not a lot in there that's surprising. Certainly after the results of the mayor's task force, police accountability task force, there were things that we expected to see, and we saw them. It's important to use that as sort of a guide to how we should be doing things. The mayor and the superintendent have committed to a variety of not just reforms, but transformations. And I think the DOJ findings are going to help in that regard. They'll give us that framework. And whether there's a consent decree or not, anybody can guess right now. But regardless if there's a consent decree, we are committed to the things that both the task force and the DOJ findings have shown us.
Very good. And so community, okay, I guess now you're concentrating on the beat. How's your work coming for your degree?
Good, very good, thank you. In fact, probably next week I'll be sitting down with my dissertation chair and we'll be talking about wrapping some things up, so thank you for asking.
And your degree is in?
It's a doctorate in criminology at the University of Illinois.
And your specific focus was exactly on the kind of thing the DOJ investigation was dealing with, which was
police accountability.
Yeah, it made you. I had a number of other officers and former members of the brass tell me that they thought you were far and away the ideal person for that position.
Well, I appreciate that. I'll take that as a compliment.
Okay, I want to thank you very much, Commander Marc Buslik, and thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
We
Thanks,
welcome more and more of you guys in the brass to come on the show.
Okay.
And we're hoping under Eddie Johnson that's going to be doable. So thanks. And segment 2 is Rabbi Shimon, our Jewish prison chaplain. Bye-bye, everybody.